Hey, Sooner Nation, welcome back. Welcome back to another Champion Standard podcast. We're about a week out from football time again. It's coming in a hurry. Uh, we wanted to give a shout out to one of our sponsors today, Woodworks Distillery up on the north side off Britton Road. If you're craving some bourbon, whiskey, vodka, gin, go pay them a visit. So wanted to give them a shout out. Please subscribe our podcast, leave some comments. We always try to check on the comments, good or bad. It doesn't matter. We can take a little bit of criticism here and there. We got a special podcast today. We're bringing in a special guest today, former Norman High School graduate, former Oklahoma running back, former Tampa Bay Buck and Ottawa Red Black running back of the CFL, and current running back coach of McGinnis High School, Mossis Madu. Welcome, Moses.
Hey, how y'all doing? I like how you say special. That's nice. I like that.
Yep. You're special. You're our first former player. So yeah, you're special.
All right, that's cool. Yeah. I like it. I could be the first. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I forgot you had a stint in the CFL.
Yeah.
How was that north of the border up there?
I tell people all the time, the CFL brought the love of football back for me.
Oh, cool.
It's an amazing league, amazing people. The support out there is crazy. They love football almost as much as hockey. You know, we're second fiddle to hockey.
Yeah,
but I also love the CFL. Yeah, I was blessed to play 6 years up there, and I had the best time ever. The food's amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. You know, it's tough coming from the NFL, you know, where there are so many politics and things are done a certain way and this and that.
Sure,
and you get to CFL, it's so laid back and just so much fun. And the game is fast and just suited my skill set perfectly.
So you said it kind of brought the love back to you. Is that sort of what drove you into coaching a little bit? Just that passion a little bit?
Yes. So toward the end of my career, I always, you get to the point, it's toward the end, you kind of think, okay, what do I want to do with my life? This and that. And I remember I retired. And so I interviewed with like a marketing company and then some other things, had some other things lined up. And I was like, screw this. I want to go coach football. Like I want to stay around the game. I don't want to sit behind the desk, work a 9 to 5 and be miserable, And of course, in Oklahoma, when you're in the school and also coaching, you're not doing it for the money, obviously, right? And so it's the kind of thing where, you really do have to love it. And I do. I love it. I enjoy it. It's funny. You get to be around that atmosphere. People ask me all the time, do you miss playing? I'm like, no, absolutely not. But the big thing because I coach now and I'm around the atmosphere a lot. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry you did not get to play in the NIL era.
Oh man, that would have been so much. We talk about us old heads. We're all old now, right? Us old heads. We talk about that all the time, and just think about. I wouldn't have been one of the big money guys, but it would have been nice to make something off of you.
Yeah.
I mean, my roommates Jermaine Gresham and DeMarco Murray would have made a whole lot of money. That's for sure. So I might have borrowed some money from them. They would have had plenty.
That's all right. That's all right. Just make them pay for all the meals and everything.
Of course, Ryan Bros too, brother. So I'd have been around plenty of guys who made a lot of money. So they would have given me some money anytime I needed anyway. So it wouldn't matter. I'd be living through
there. So you got into coaching. I don't know when you took was McGinnis your first job?
No, at first it was 2020. I went to a small school, Oklahoma Christian Academy. It's in Edmond. My daughters were going to school there at the time, and they reeled me into coaching. I actually taught PE there as well too. So I taught elementary PE, and then I coached varsity football there, and I had a blast. I loved PE, elementary PE. Like my kindergartens were my favorite class, and I had a blast coaching PE. But it wore me out. Now I slept good every night, that's for sure.
I bet.
I absolutely loved it. I mean, it was perfect for me. I'd run around, I'd play dodgeball with my 4th and 5th graders and hit them as hard as possible, and they would love it. And basketball, so it was perfect for me, especially transitioning from playing ball my whole life and going something like that. It's so much fun. I mean, that's pretty better.
Yeah, I didn't know you had an OCA stand up there, Blake Griffin's old stomping ground. So that's cool. That's cool. And I see right now you're at McGinnis, running backs coach at McGinnis. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So we wanted to give you an opportunity a little bit to talk a little bit about some of your players potentially. I know Rob's got some stuff on J.R. Fletcher and some other, or talk about
Yeah,
the
you got some good ones. Yeah.
team. When do y'all start? Is it next
Our
week?
first game is this upcoming Friday. Yeah, so next week, I guess you could say Sunday.
Okay.
We're playing Dare Creek, so it's going to be a big one. You know, they have that quarterback committed to Georgia Tech, who is the more and more I watch film of him, the more and more I'm like, oh my gosh, this kid is so dang good. Like and I tell my players all the time, you can tell who a D1 guy is. You just know right away, right? The way they hold themselves, their game, how much different they are. And that young man right there is a D1 guy for sure. So it's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, I think he's got some.
Oh yeah,
yeah. This is J.R. Fletcher up here on his huddle.
Yeah, my guy.
Man, tough kid, man. Tough kid.
He's a tough runner. This will be his first year to start. I remember when I first got my hands on him. It was a sophomore year, and I first started coaching McGinnis. You know, he wasn't doing all this. So I've got a lot of time with him, and I'm going to teach him a lot of good stuff. And the thing about him is he listens. When I coach, he listens and he does it right.
Hey Rob, you may want to turn that video down a little bit, or the audio. Sorry.
Playoffs.
Is there audio on it? My bad.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so he's a dual threat guy. So he has great hands, runs good routes. You can see right here, run a post here, touchdown. He went crazy this game. This was the first round of the playoffs last year. Everybody picked Midwest State to beat us. We wore them out. You can see right there, I think it was 7-35 at the time.
Yeah.
And we're in the same district as them this year, so it'll be fun getting to play them again. And don't know what to expect now because they were talking a whole lot of smack pregame, thinking that they're going to roll us up, but then they realize how physical we are as a team. So don't know now. Yeah. So I'd imagine it'd be a better game this year. But yeah, Jared, he's going to be a dang good one for us. He runs behind his pad. He's fast. He works his butt off. You can see here the speed here. Yeah. He has a good burst to him, and he's a dual threat guy. Routes, hands, everything. So I'm excited about him.
You had some of that in your day, some good hands.
Yeah, I had a little bit of that.
Right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
It'd be nice if I could find a young one like me out there somewhere one day.
I was telling Rob, when I think of you, one of the things that pops in my head is your big run you had at the end of that Big 12 championship game. I want to say it was 2008 against Missouri.
Yeah, to set the record. I had a friend send me that clip 2 days ago. Actually.
Yeah, no, y'all rolled them up. You played on some of the most prolific offenses in OSU or OU's history.
Yeah, for sure. I think that year 08 is when we scored 65 games in a row, and at the time that was a national record. Mm-hmm. I think that just got broke as well too, or maybe if it stains, I can't remember. But that year there was crazy, just up and down. Our roster was stupid, and even like the national championship going into that game, Florida's roster too. Like, the people that are on the field playing, it's when I go back and watch, I'm like, dang, he was playing. He was like, it's crazy, just top to bottom. Yeah. Our roster we had in 08, that our team, I mean, our O-line was ridiculous, and I mean, our receivers, our running back group was crazy, and so yeah, it was. I mean, that's what you get when you go to school like OU. It's they're bringing in the next guy to beat you out the next year, and so it's always gonna be competition across the board.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Does so you is McGinnis? So are y'all 6A2?
We're 5A. We're supposed to be 6A2.
Okay, 5A.
Yeah. You were 5. We're gonna be 6A2. Whole bunch of court stuff. And they bumped us back down to 5A. So we'll be 5A again. We're excited about it. We were really excited about 6A2, but we're gonna be, and we're still excited. Of course, we've been in 5A for a long time now, and we know. But what they did do is they changed up a bunch of the districts. They switched up all the districts actually. So this year, rather than being with, normally we're with Carl Albert, Piedmont, Guthrie, Southeast. So our district was the toughest one in 5A. Mm-hmm. They broke the districts all up, and now it'll be like us, Midwest City, Duncan, Lawton Mac. And so yeah, they broke it up. Yeah, Lawton Mac's going to be good. You see a little bit of them this last Thursday's scrimmage. So they got some guys for sure.
Yeah. Carl Albert's been a juggernaut forever.
Carl Albert. Yeah. Carl Albert. I learned that real fast coming to McGinnis, coaching against them and playing against them. And so we know it's a battle every time we play them, and it's a lot of fun. I love playing teams like that and being around that crop of talent and things like that. And so we're going to beat them one of these times, though. We're going to do it. We have to get up. And I actually trained a few of the guys from there too, so we always talk smack to each other, and so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it sounds like you got a pretty decent team this year. Then you kind of got
it's going to be a lot of fun this year for sure. We think we could make a real run at it. We made it to the semifinals the last 2 years in a row, and we think with our roster right now, it could be a year that we get over that hump and get back in that state title game. I think the last time we were there was 2020, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So a few years ago. Yeah. So we're trying to get back there and win it this year.
Yeah. Yeah, McGinnis has been an okay pipeline to OU and stuff over the years. Gay Bikard. I know currently the only one I can think of is like, Zach Smith, the kicker.
Yeah, Smith, the kicker's there. Ben Tallwater's there, but he's student coach. He was playing at first.
Okay.
He's student coach there now, right. and I've heard great things about him. We also have Brendan Walker as well too. Yeah, he was there. He was a big time recruit, but he medically retired because of back issues. And he's actually helping his coach now. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. He's helping his coach right now while he finishes up school. Then he's going to go to med school. He's going to take a year off and then go into med school. So, smart young man. Yeah, you never picture him being a doctor because he's huge, right? But it's just, hey, go be, go doctor. Smart young man. And
hey, they got to come in all sizes too, right?
Yeah, they do, right? They can't all be one size.
So I know you probably don't follow OU, or anything as much as you used to or anything, but I don't know if you've kept up this year or anything. And
I try to. Most of my friends keep me updated. I got the bunch of my good friends are hardcore OU guys, so they always make sure to keep me updated with things going on. And I know the other day or other week we got a big time. We got a 5-star. Was it lineman that committed to us?
5-star.
Yeah,
5-star.
They keep me updated. Yeah. I don't pay attention, but they're like, big signing today. Big signing. I'm like, oh, what? Like 5-star old line. Good. Bring them. Get them. Yeah. So.
So Moses being a former running back, I know, I always like to ask like a running back how he would evaluate like OU's running back room this year. Do you? And I know Rob's got some, Gavin Sawchuk stuff, but do you have any? You have any thoughts on their, their running back room or anything like that?
Yeah. So I have a lot of great insight because I worked with them this summer. I had the opportunity to train them this summer. And it was a whole lot of fun. So I got to see each and every one of them live and in person and get my hands all over them. And it was great. And so I remember talking to DeMarco about them. And I was like, dog, your running back room is crazy this year. Like the way those guys moved and their work effort, their work ethic, and the way they just, you can tell that they're a tight-knit group. And I was like, that's big time, especially in today's era of football, in today's game. There could be a lot of different outside influences going on, things like that. Right. But getting to work with them all summer the way I did, it was amazing and fun to be around that crop of talented guys and see them in person, get to meet them and know them personally. And I was very surprised. What I love to see is how Gavin led that group there. He was first in all my drills, and they watched him. And if he went hard, they were going hard, right? They would try to go even harder.
Awesome.
And what I learned about, you could tell he was the leader of that group, and which is great to see. And I could tell what type of young man and what he was, and we had some good talks and things about what I felt like he needed to do more of in the run game and things like that. Like I talked to him about, because whenever we're doing my drills and working, I noticed how shifty he was, and I was like, dog, I pictured you more of like a Chris Brown type of runner. A little bit of wiggle. You get to where you're elusive because you're just slippery, right? But I was like, watching you do my drills, like, you got a whole lot more jiggle to you. Like you go, you juke. I was like, you gotta show that more for the scouts this season. Like he's like, yeah, I've been working on it, man. He's like, that's one thing I really want to work at getting better at is being more elusive and showing that he can do that. Push tone and ground, make a guy miss with a jump cut or using a 1-2 as I coach, things like that. So we talked about it. And even watching the film that you guys sent me, the first thing that pops off to me also is his balance. His balance is stupid. He has crazy balance, such good balance as a runner. And he's smart. You hardly never see him not make the right read in the run game. Whether it's a 1-yard gain or a 0-yard gain, it's the right read. It's not going to be a thing where, who was the running back from Alabama? Trent Richardson, right? He missed so many holes in the NFL. Yes, remember how there'd be memes about him all the time? It ain't going to be done like that with Gav. Yeah, and so it just, he makes the right play all the time. And if it ain't all the time, it's going to be 8, 9 out of 10 times. And balance, elusiveness, things like that. And so I think that's one thing that's going to pop out of the tape about him. And he does just enough to be slippery as well too. But that's why we talked about too, showing more of that you got more juice than what people would think, you know, because he had a lot of it in that training.
Yeah, he's known as a, you know, he was a track star in high school, but you know, there's a lot more to his game, and then just you know running right there. Straight down the field.
Yeah, and I think he needs to show that. He needs to put that on film, you know, for scouts to see. That was a good cut there. For scouts to see and things like that, like show more of that speed, that burst, that elusiveness you want to have. Now all runners are different, right? But you still want, that was a good cut, yeah. But you still want to show that off. Yeah, like I want him to press one guy and make a move on him in the open field.
I'm a big fan of, you know, make one move and go. So the more guys that we have, the better off.
Good cut. Yeah. See, he always makes the right cut. That was a beautiful cut right there in the backfield to go score a touchdown there. Let's see what he does here. He's real patient too. I love his patience. Good patience right there. Good cut again.
Yep.
Good finish. Yeah, but he's reminding me a lot of Chris Brown, the CB. Just going to make the right decisions all the times, but he's way more elusive, especially training him. You see, and I wanted to show that more this year.
I didn't know you had the opportunity to work with these guys one-on-one like you did. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was a blessing. It was fun. I had a great time, man. And I was talking to my wife about it. Like, that makes me want to go coach college football so bad. But I'm like, man, I want to be. Time is of the essence, and I have two, you know, daughters, and I'm just like, I want to be around them as much as possible right now. But like, been around a crop of town, the way that DeMarco's room, man, oh my gosh, those guys there, top to bottom. I mean, it was beautiful. It was a lot of fun to work with them, and I had a great time doing it. And even my young man who went to Norman North, I make fun of him all the time. You know, I'm a Norman High guy, so I'd always poke fun at him about going to North and stuff like that. But it was a good time.
Yeah, well, DeMarco may not be here forever, so hey, we got a short. We're starting a short list today.
Yeah, it's hard to short list. Put me right there. That means my to move neither. They wouldn't have to move and change schools and nothing like that. That'd be perfect.
So we're watching Gavin here. Was there? I know you probably don't want to like, you know, shortchange anyone and not leave anybody off or anything. Is there anybody else that stood out, you know, over the summer when you were working out with these guys?
They all work so hard, man.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot and make you single anybody out. So
I was so like in awe of how hard they worked and how they cheered each other on. But it was I don't know, it was crazy. I mean, it was they worked their butts off and I loved it. My man from Norman North, his feet were so crazy, so fast. His foot speed was so crazy. And he was the one that everybody would always get the most hype for, because in my drills, he just killed them every single time. Like, oh, and then they would go, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
what's his name again?
Oh, what's his name from Norman North?
Isn't it Burke something?
Put me on the spot. Now I feel like an a-hole.
No, it's yeah. No, but that room sounds like it's loaded. You know, just
it's loaded. It's loaded.
6, 7 deep. So wasn't he like a preferred walk-on?
Yes, he was.
Anymore, it doesn't matter. You can be on scholarship. You can be on NIL. You can be preferred walk-on. There's
they get.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It just feels like it's just one big group. And
yeah, exactly. And I feel like, especially like with guys like him, they're gonna find a way to get them NIL to make it. You know, where the regardless if it's a PWO tag, but you're getting some money too, because he could have gone other places and got full rides. I mean, for sure. I recruited.
I like the 2 or 3 freshmen coming in, Tatum and Robinson. I know Robinson came in and worked his butt off and lost a few LBs and leaned up a little bit.
Yeah, I know. So I know X personally because I've trained X for about 2 years now as well too. And I remember the first session we had, he was walking up to me and I was looking, he was kind of far, and I was like, is that X? So he lost so much weight since he started, you know, that baby fat, what we call it. And Schmitty got his hands on him and molded him and shaped him up. And he's always going to look good because his feet, for his size, his feet are crazy for his size. Like he's a perfect SEC running back for OU to be going to the SEC with. And I think as he gets older and all, as he gets older and in the weight room more and learns to play, he's going to be a problem. And I know he was a guy that they're excited about as well too, potentially going to play as a true freshman. But he looked dang good in my drills. He always has, because he's been working with me for a couple of years now as well too. So he knows what to expect and how to do him and things like that. But for his size, his feet are crazy too, and the way he moves. And my man from Longview looked good too. Yeah, he's
Taylor Tatum. Yeah,
Tatum. He looked good, and he's his size. I like his size too. I didn't know he was that tall actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that tall.
I saw some pictures of him in fall camp, and I was like, dang, that's a bigger kid than I thought he was.
I wanted to make a practice so I could watch them. And talking to DeMarco about it, I was going to go into the meeting rooms with them too, go into meetings with them and stuff, and hang out and watch them practice. I just didn't have the time to. We started camp. I'm always busy with my daughter, so it was just tough to find the time. But I got to sometime. I want to get in there, and I want to see them all in pads, because everybody looks good without pads. We all look good without pads. You put them pads on, that's when you really find out.
Real football.
I was interested to see how they were going to look with pads on.
I was trying to do a search on that name, but I'll forget.
Is it Chapman? Is it Chapman McCown?
No. Yeah, McCown.
Is it?
Yeah.
McCown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that's him. Yeah. No, his feet are crazy. What's up, Chapman? Shout out to you, man.
I like him too, man. I don't know. What's he go about 5 foot? And that's giving him a few inches.
Yeah, he's listed at 5'5", 175.
His feet are crazy. And I wasn't sure he was going to play running back when they first recruited him. I thought he was going to be more of a slot guy. I thought he was going to have more in the slot. He's playing running back there. No, he's a he. I've seen him in pads.
He capped off the spring game with a big play.
Yeah, he's a good player. That's going to be tough for him to crack playing time, man. I mean, that's a deep room. I feel like it's deeper than any room I was in at OU. I mean, I know one year we had me, DeMarco, Brennan Clay, Roy Finch, Jonathan Miller, but
that was a good room.
Justin Johnson. We were deep, but I don't know forever that deep like his room is right now. Like he is. Yeah, he has a deep room, and those guys work.
Yeah, I guess is Andy Bass considered a running back too?
Yeah, but he was, he's still recovering from the
injury.
Knee. Yeah, and so he was there, but he was on silence getting work done on him and stuff. And so he wasn't doing nothing. And now that would have been fun. I want to see him move in person as well too. And with him being a Heritage Hall kid, I've seen clips of him as well too. But I want to see a good friend of mine trains him as well, and he talks him up. I was like, we'll see when I get my hands on him what he's about. But so I didn't get to work with him though.
So what's your, we've been talking about the running back room a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know OU's got a brutal schedule. Do you have a prediction or any thoughts on their season this year?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Brutal's the right word. I mean, that schedule there is crazy. I'm looking at it. If they got to 9 wins, I was talking about this actually earlier this morning. If they get to 9 wins, I can see them being a playoff team. With it being 12 teams this year in the SEC, and in that schedule they get to 9 wins, I can see them being a playoff team. But I don't know if that's just gonna happen, right? I love my students. I'm ride and die for them all the time, but I think it's gonna take an adjustment. It's gonna be a time adjustment to getting used to the SEC schedule and the grind of every week. It literally, you like having to be on game. And I think I remember just playing Florida and the Natty, the difference really was the trenches. Like how that thing's going to take some getting used to, I think, as well too. Now I would love for them to make the playoffs, to make the SEC championship game and things like that, but I just don't know, especially with a first-year starter. I don't know, what it's going to look like in the SEC. And so I think that's going to be tough. Now, yes, I mean, 8 or 9 games, 8. I'll be safe saying 8, 9. Yeah. So it'd be 8-4. Yeah, 8-4. Yeah. 9-3 would be beautiful, but 2, like that means you're beating. I don't know, because I don't think Bama is going to fall off that much, right? They lost some guys in the portal, but they also picked guys up and still got guys coming in. That's a hell of a coach they got there. Tennessee is going to be Tennessee, right? Who else are we playing? Auburn. Auburn. Yeah, November is like the hell month. Looking at that, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I will say, though, I am mad about how high everybody is on Texas right now. I don't know. It so man. I was watching College Game Day, and even Nick Saban picked them to make to the SEC championship. I'm like, yo, lost Nick Saban. Like what? Like every year, Texas, Notre Dame are like ranked in the top 5 every year. And they both end up just terrible. You know, I'm like, when are we gonna learn to stop? Yeah, like Notre Dame and Texas every single year. Like let's stop doing this. It's stupid. Let's stop it. Yeah. And so. Yeah, I'm just like, that's so dumb. And then they didn't even talk about us. They talked about Auburn. I'm like, you talking about Auburn? You're not gonna talk about us? Like,
yeah.
Like what? You know, I was talking about Ole Miss before Texas too. I could see Ole Miss making a real run at the SEC championship this year over Texas. You know, so
you mentioned Alabama and Tennessee. I'm really glad both those games are at home.
Alabama, Tennessee are at home.
Yeah.
Looking at the schedule, I think I had a split in one of those games at home for us between Alabama and Tennessee. And then the rest, we play Mizzou, right? It's Mizzou.
We got Ole Miss, Mizzou, Auburn, LSU.
Yeah.
All on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I had us beating LSU. I don't think. I mean, they're gonna have dudes, right? But I don't know. They didn't do a lot with Jaden Daniels back there.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in their Newsmeyer quarterback. Yeah, he's kind of average, and they do have a really great O-line, but they're breaking in, skill guys, and that defense, they had to get a new DC who I like. Blake Baker's their DC, and he's pretty good.
Where did he come from?
Mizzou, actually. He turned Missouri's defense around. He actually worked with Kelly for about a year, I think, and Missouri gave him a job at DC, and he turned around that defense, and they were they were competent. And now he comes back and he's rejoined with Kelly, and I think that defense is going to be pretty good. But I have Oklahoma winning on the road on LSU. I mean, that's going to be a wild,
it's going to be
Death
crazy.
Valley.
Yeah,
it's going to be nuts. The whole season's going to be nuts. I mean, we're going
people are going to be rooting so hard against us going to SEC. I mean, especially when we play those away in their homes. I mean, but I think we can win the LSU game. That Ole Miss, I mean, we'll. I feel so bad saying we're gonna lose games because I'm a sooner born, sooner bred. It's tough. It really is, and I think we need to. I think Jackson Arnold's junior, if he stays his senior year, that's when I think we're really going to be in front. Like we're going to be at top of the top. But I just think his first year starting, in the first year in the SEC is going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I can't wait that long. I can't wait that long.
I know, right?
It's got to happen now.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see.
That's where I was going back and forth because I was like, 10 wins. And then I'm like, maybe 8. Let's split the difference, go to 9. But there's so many great defensive coordinators that mix it up every week. And if they find your blueprint, you got a young quarterback. One of the things that Jackson kind of struggled in the bowl game was throwing on cover 3. That's he was not looking off the safety. If you're getting that middle field closed coverage, you need to kind of learn how to look off that safety, or at least get him to slow down with your eyes. Yeah. And there's some of those nuances of the game that he'll have to learn to be picked up. But those DCs in the SEC are for real. And we lost Nick Saban, who's the GOAT on defense, but there's a lot of other DCs that are really good, and they're going to be throwing all kinds of stuff at him every single week. And you were mentioning before about how the weekly game plan every week you're going up against big boys in the trenches, and you got DCs that are really it's a grind. Yeah, it's a grind.
Yeah, it's a grind, and not even. I mean, we replaced a lot of front on the O-line too, didn't we? Are we replacing?
Yeah, I mean
the whole
on the offensive line we lost like 9 guys, and we brought back.
Even saying that, like this,
600 snaps, I think. 600 total snaps out of 4,200 snaps, I think. We brought 300 from Troy Everett and another 300 from Jacob Sexton. So I mean, it's Coach Beatonbow, so you gotta
Beatonbow. You're gonna have him right.
Beatonbow's gonna find his 5. It's just we don't know how long it's gonna take.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. I mean, I think it'd be a thing like if we're bringing in the exact same old line from last year, right? You could say, okay, we can some of those against the ball if we need to, right? If Jackson's struggling because it's his first year starting, he's a young guy, it's gonna happen, right? He's gonna struggle.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be, And so so it's just gonna be one thing. It's gonna be tough. But then they load the box on you. What you gonna do? You're gonna force Jackson to throw the ball, and make those decisions. That's So I just think it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take time. Jackson is the guy. He's gonna be dang good. But he's gonna have his ups and downs as a first year starter. I mean, we saw it in the bowl game. He's young. He's gonna learn. It's gonna take time. It's very rare where a first year starting quarterback at this age comes in and just absolutely can just pick people apart because it's just such a different game.
Yeah. I hope McKee can, they can navigate their way through October, and by November he's lost a lot of that first year jitterness.
Yeah,
definitely. Or whatever, and because that November is brutal. For sure.
Yeah. What games were November again? What did we say? Is it Alabama?
At Ole Miss, at Missouri, and then we got that Maine game, that out of conference Maine game, like mid-month. Yeah, the Maine Bears, and then Alabama, LSU to round it out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yes. That's gonna be a grinder. If we get out of there, we'll beat Maine for sure.
Yeah, stop that with a W.
I mean, if you can get out of there 2-2, that's nice. 3-1.
I mean,
God, right? I'm sure,
your last three with Missouri, Alabama, and LSU, and you finish it with Death Valley. That's a pretty tough 3-game stretch right there.
Yeah, I would imagine that has to be like, does it say what our strength of schedule is? What's ranking on this? Got to be way up there. I know Florida's is crazy. Florida's
got to be top 5. Ours has to be top 5. So
it has.
Alabama's is pretty bad too. Alabama has to play. They miss Ole Miss, but they get Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, Missouri, and Oklahoma and Auburn. Theirs is pretty tough. They have to actually play Georgia. Theirs is pretty tough too.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily we dodged Georgia because that would have been that would have been a bad one. But ours is up there as one of the toughest in the country for sure.
Good grief. So it's good to have that, and so I just have some grace with this year. Let us figure it all out, work out the kinks, get the O-line right, and our young quarterback, things like that, and figure out how to play in the trenches every single week in the SEC. And then let us go from there. Give BV time as well too, because this is going to be his 3rd year, right? Yeah,
his 3rd year. Yep.
Give them all some time. Give it some time.
Yep, I agree. There's going to be definitely some growing pains, but got everything out in front of us. Got the schedule.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll keep getting the right guys in. We talked about it. We got that 5. We got some 5 stars coming in, 4 stars. We got big boys, and I think O-line, D-line is what you got. I'm gonna have to get O-line, D-line for sure. O-line, D-line. Keep working at that.
The
trenches is where it was so much different. I'm just playing against SEC teams. I always just felt the trenches is where you could really felt the difference.
Yeah. Well, hey, do we want to wrap this up?
Yeah.
Moses, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
We'd love to have you on again. I know you're going to get really busy.
Yeah,
you're going to get really busy here before long. Yeah.
We'll do a mid-season check and see how Sooner Nation's doing and throwing suicide watch or what. We'll do a mid-season check and make sure we're all good.
Let's hope not.
And then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, appreciate your time on a Sunday.
Hey, no problem. You guys have a good one.
You too. Talk to you soon.
All right. See y'all.
See you, Moses.
Bye. Later. Oh, that was great. That was great having Moses on. Man. Yeah, that guy's very personable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, he was in a running back room back in the day. Oof.
Yeah. That 2018, I could stare at that roster and just come up with all these great moments, whether it was in 2008 or in 2007 or in 2009 and 10. Like, that 2018 was just unreal.
No, that's good. I had no idea that he got to work with all the running backs over the summer. That's really cool. He trained with them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. That running back room, they're all healthy and they're going to start the season off so much better than they did last year. Last fall camp, we had Javonte and Gavin dealing with lower body injuries, and now they get to start the season healthy. And then you added Taylor Tatum, and it's a deep room, man.
Yeah.
Moses said it himself. He's there. He's seen it. He put his eyes on it. He knows they're healthy. they're
Right.
rocking and rolling.
Yeah. No, I think
It's gonna be a much different start to the season this year than it was last year.
right. I think you and I would agree that, if we start the season letting the O-line come together and we establish the running game those first 3 weeks and just let Jackson just slowly develop confidence. He doesn't need to come out in the Temple game, throw for 6 touchdowns. We need to establish the running game.
Yeah.
And if we can do that and get that O-line gelling, then yeah, I think Jackson probably knows he doesn't need the stats these first games. He just got to grow up.
Yeah.
And just slowly get better week by week. I'm sure Luttrell wants to throw a little bit at him this week just to get that playbook expanded a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Houston's not, a walk in the park next week or anything. You certainly don't want to go into that game and not feel confident bringing your full playbook or whatever. But
yeah, I'm hoping that we get the run game going. I would like to see some shots downfield. I want to see him. I want to see Arnold start throwing it. Like, he needs to let it rip and get the ball chucked. I'm talking like 30-yard post seams and fades, and get him as many reps as possible for what Moses just said. They're going to load up the box, stop the run, and make him throw it. And if that happens, that means he's got one-on-ones on the outside. He's got a burner on one side of Nick Anderson, and he'll have another burner on next to him with Deion Burks. He needs to get used to throwing those deep balls, and being accurate with them. And the more reps he gets early in the year of throwing those 30, 40-yard bombs, the better it'll be when he goes to, Missouri and travels to Ole Miss and travels to LSU, because the recipe for defeating any young quarterback is we're going to take the run game away. We're going to force you to make some really tough throws. The fade. We're going to lock down the middle of the field. We're going to take the middle. We're going to take the middle of the field out in coverage. We're going to stop the run, and we're going to make you throw over the top of us. And we need to get him as many reps of that as possible. Because, like, if you look back to that BYU game, I mean, he's got the arm, but the timing, and it could be just practice, because he was number 2 in practice, not number 1, getting run reps. He had some missed opportunities with Nick Anderson. He was overthrowing it. The timing was just off a little bit. If he gets that timing down, that's what we want. And so I'm hoping that we get that run game, physical, control the clock, beat you physically, punch you in the mouth, and then throw on the top of you, and then do it over and over and over and over again. I don't expect a huge stat line from Arnold in these first 3 games. If he's like 20 and 30, and like 290 and 300 yards and a couple touchdowns for non-cons, that's pretty normal. But if the plays are, he gets 2 or 3 of those a game and get those reps in, that's what I like to see. Pushing the ball downfield a little bit.
I do want him to run a couple of times this first week and go ahead and take a lick, since he's been wearing that blue jersey all August,
Yeah.
just so he knows what it feels like to actually get popped. But
yeah.
Okay. All right. We will, I guess we'll have a game to talk about next time we talk to you, everybody. So that'll be awesome. Finally. Yeah. It'll be nice kind of getting it out of the way and having the rest of the weekend to just kind of edge and watch other games. Won't have to stress out about it, the OU game. So
yeah.
Until next time, we will see Sooner Nation then. Boomer.
Sooner.